Hello, and welcome to the next e-learning tip. This tip focuses on social interaction. So school and the nature of school is a very social atmosphere. Now that we're several weeks in, your students might have mentioned to you that the thing they miss most is those human interactions and conversations they have with you. Those are the special, fun moments in school and something that is not quite the same when we're not physically in our buildings. However, there are some different ways you can build in opportunities for social interaction into your online learning environment. And it's really important that you do that because it is such a core part of a typical school day. And this is a time when our students need our support and need to have us in their corner and is someone that they can talk to more than ever, given the stressful nature of our world right now. So, building in these opportunities for students is a really great investment, and they notice that you're making that investment. So, a couple of different things I'm going to focus on are different tools and formats. But before I do that, from more of a UDL perspective and how this supports learning and universal design for learning is that building in opportunities for students to talk with you and talk with one another is important for several reasons. One of those being engagement. Like I said, this is a very scary time for our students, and providing them with an outlet and a way to talk with you, someone who's a support system for them, someone they know is a trusted person they can go to, really means a lot and removes barriers and can help students focus. If there's a lot of brain science out there, Allison Posey, a UDL expert, in her book Engage the Brain, talks about how being afraid really shuts down your brain. You can't focus on learning or anything else. So making sure that we can help our students have a way to talk to us and feel a little bit better is important for several different reasons because of that. Other things here is that if you're building in those opportunities for students to interact with each other through discussion boards, video conferences, and you're still trying to foster some of that classroom environment communication, that's really helpful too for engagement. Students will feel like they're still a part of a team and a part of your class, even if they're not physically there together. And then in terms of representation and action expression, opportunities for social interaction are also important because they give our students the ability to share things in different formats and modalities. A lot of the tools out there allow you to type out responses, submit pictures, video. There's lots of different ways to support our learners so that even if they might struggle with putting the information out on the keyboard, they have a way to still participate. So moving into some of the tools and different things that are out there are lots of tools. As I'm sure you're probably getting emails and notifications from companies. They're giving you free versions of a lot of things. Before you dive into exploring lots of new tools, I'm just going to show you a few here that are already built into your learning management system, It's Learning, and then a few that might be new to you but are used throughout our district and a lot of teachers have success with. So I feel like there are ones that we can vet and say that are good to use in the classroom, and I can even point you to people who are using them well. So the first thing I'm going to show you is probably one that you're very well familiar with at this point, and that is It's Learning Messenger. So as you know, It's Learning has a way to communicate within it. It's the messaging feature. It's beside your profile icon. You can open up an individual chat with students there, or a group chat, or a mass message to your class periods. So if you have It's Learning pulled up here in another window, it's the icon right here. You can type in a student's name and then start the message, add files that are saved on your computer, put links, and they can chat there. If you wanted to mass message a class, you can do that, and there's a very quick way to do so. You'll go to your class, you'll click More in Participants. It will show all your students there. You can even just filter it by a particular class period if you'd rather message just that group. Click the checkbox with all their names, click Send, and then it opens up the option to send an individual message or a group chat. And you can always close that group chat at any point in time by clicking the message, selecting the group chat, and there's a drop-down arrow there where you can close the chat. So those are options within It's Learning Messenger. Other options within It's Learning, there is the discussion feature. If you've ever participated in any online courses, maybe in graduate school or undergraduate school, chances are you've participated in some type of discussion board. Those are very popular in the higher education community. It's Learning has that feature built in as well. It's called the discussion tool. And what's great about It's Learning's discussion tool is that it's not just text-based conversations. The teacher can put links, pictures, videos, record audio, record video right there, and put it all in that discussion. So it's a little bit more dynamic in what you can do. Students also have those same options. So it's really important if you use this tool that you remind your students, hey, you don't have to just type out a response here. You can put pictures, you can add in a link, you can do a video recording, an audio recording. They have those options too. So it's great for action and expression and those options in UDL. So to open that up, go to your eLearning course again, and you'll click the Add button over here in the corner, and it is not in the short menu, so you click Show All. You have to give it a title. Here is where you can add in some of those different multimedia pieces here. So because you have that rich text editor, you can put links, audio, video, all that good stuff, and type it here. You can make it just a simple check-in. Maybe it's a place where students can ask for help and other students can answer their questions if they're having technology problems. It can be discussing topics that maybe you studied the day before. It could be a little bit of review. Totally up to you. But I would leave it there and click Save. And to start a conversation, you can do Start a New Thread. You can add your information there. Students have the ability to respond all those different formats. And whenever I'm finished, I click Save. I can view this thread. I can reply right below it or reply with a quote. If you teach multiple class periods, I will say in terms of managing a discussion, what I find to be best is that I make one discussion and then each thread is a different class period. So first period's discussion thread, second period. So then all of your students are kind of gathered in that one place, but that's just personal preference. Other people do it different ways. The other options that you have available in terms of communication tools and social interaction with your students is a Backchannel Chat. And this is one of those awesome tools because it's synchronous and asynchronous. So it's really important that if you're building in opportunities for social interaction in your lessons, that you also put asynchronous options out there. And that is because asynchronous means that students can participate anytime, anywhere. So that's really important because a lot of our students don't have reliable internet access. They might have to wait until parents get home and can drive them somewhere else to get internet. So by putting in discussion and social interaction opportunities that are in a flexible schedule, we're better able to support our students. And Backchannel Chat is one of those. So it's just a conversation chat tool that kind of goes around in the background of a lesson that you're doing. There were lots of tools that used to be out there. Today's Meet was a popular one, but that got replaced by a new tool called YoTeach. It's linked here. YoTeach is really simple to use. The first time I used it, I was almost like, this is way too simple. Am I missing something? But here's my guide on how to use it in case you need it. But now that we're on YoTeach, you make a room. You do have to be kind of specific because there's lots of people using this tool right now. So if you did what I did and just put sample discussion, someone probably already took that. You can have a password set on it. I usually like to do that so I know it's just my students who are entering. Create room. When it creates the room, you have to enter the password as well. It opens up the chat. You have lots of opportunities here, and this tool just actually is more new and improved now than it used to be. You type in here discussions, text, any type of information like that. You could enable voice, so you could add audio recordings if you want to be able to talk with students and have them talk. You can also insert drawings and pictures here. So if someone's participating maybe on their phone and they want to draw out a question or something that they're thinking, they have that option here, and it's all just in this little chat box. So it's a cool kind of just instant messaging feature that your students could have with each other as maybe you're discussing something, or you just want to have this set up for them as they progress through a lesson. The last option in terms of social interaction in the classroom is using video chat. These are super popular right now because we want to be able to see our students interact with them. There's some out there that aren't the best for security settings when compared to others. There is a video conference feature built into eLearning. I will say that it does not support that many students being on it at one time. You can have up to 25 people in just the text-based chat. If you want to have a bigger chat room with more students, that's not the tool for you. You can do a video and audio chat with the eLearning conference tool, but it's only 10 people at once. So it's good for small groups, just not big groups. The way you set that up is, again, through the add button. And show all, and it's in activities, so the same section where some of these other tools were, and it's a conference tool. You do have to give it a title. You can add a description. You have all those awesome things here with the rich text editor. Scroll down. This is where you decide what type of conference call you want it to be. Conference with video means that it's a video chat. You can also decide when you want it to be active. So if you want it to be open for a certain time of day, a couple hours, you could do that. Click save. Then you can have it deactivate after a little while too. If you use this the first time, you might have to enable Flash Player, and I have some additional troubleshooting steps that I've linked in this document for how to do that. For sake of time, I'm not going to show you that right now, but you do have it set up correctly. You need to enable Flash. Then what shows up here is the ability to video conference call with your students, and you have a little chat box similar to what you see in other features. It's just eLearning's version of that. But again, it does not support tons of people, but it's good for small group work. The other option that is here is Google Hangouts Meet, which is a video conferencing tool. We can have up to 250 people on a Google Hangouts Meet call because we have our Google for Education school district, and we have that ability with our Google domain. Your students can participate with by dialing in by their phone number. They can use a video conference feature, or they can participate just by using the text chat box, but it's all there. That is a little bit more of a hefty tool to discuss in a short video, but I did link some additional resources here. The first one is a guide for teachers and getting started. It's pretty easy to set up, just some things to know going into it, that if you've used it outside of BCSC, it's a little bit different when you set things up with students, just so you make sure that their security and their privacy is a little bit more safeguarded. The other resources here are just guides for your students. They're more student focused in English and in Spanish. But feel free to use those, check them out, and have fun conferencing with your students. Other tips I want to put on here is just when you're using any type of social interaction tool, make sure that you give asynchronous options so that students who don't have the ability to participate between 9 to 3 have another opportunity to still get in touch with you and talk with their classmates. If you provide a video conference feature, just know that some students might not want to have their face on video, and that's okay. Some of them are a little bit more shy. They might be the students who don't want to get up and do a presentation in the front of class, and that's just a part of what it is. And maybe they have something going on in their home life right now, and they don't need that to be on camera. Just let your students know that it's okay if they don't want to be on camera. Let them know how they can turn their camera off, and give them alternative options if that fits the scenario. Also, just make sure that if you give options other than video, that's also helpful for our students who have different internet speed. Slower internet speed might not be able to handle the bandwidth of a video conference call, so this is an option for them. Modeling your expectations beforehand. I almost forgot to say this, but it's really important. Make sure that if you have a discussion or a video conference call or anything along those lines, even if it's a chat room like YoTeach, the Backchannel Chat, that you kind of outline some expectations for students and you model what you would like them to do so they have a clear idea on what that looks like. Some of these tools are not ones that we use on a regular basis because we're in person with our students. We don't necessarily need to be video conferencing with them. So there is some unfamiliar ground. So the more clear you can be in your expectations and demonstrating that for your students, the less confusion they'll have on their end and the more smoothly all of this will go. And there is a sample tip sheet here that's just some etiquette for video conference calls. Feel free to make a copy of this, change it, do whatever you want. A really cool thing to do would be to make a copy of this and then maybe build in some of your school's PBIS language. So maybe your ABCs, your other PBIS language. I don't know all the other ones off the top of my head, but you could tweak it to where it fits your school language so your students are a little bit more familiar with what you're asking them to do and it's in line with other things that you're doing. So those are the tips for social interaction with your students. If you have ideas that are outside of this, send them our way. We love to share and do other videos on them. And I hope things are going well. Stay safe and have fun.